All right. Good day. This is the Real Open House, where we get the truth about real estate. I'm your host, Josh Oleesky, and today we have Lauren Ravitz from Berkshire Hathaway, dear friend and colleague and referral partner. I'm very excited to have you here today. I have known Lauren for quite some time. I want to say good, maybe over 10 years. Yeah. And she's a mother of two, dog mom, wife. Very excited to have you here.
Thank you.
And how did we meet, Lauren?
We met in an exercise class in the basement of a building in Brentwood.
It's
R.I.P. No longer there.
Yeah, rest in peace. So L.A. to have met a real estate agent and a mortgage person in a boxing class in Brentwood in the basement.
And to have stayed friends and done business together.
And
it's a love story.
One saved a life, I think, too, at a mixer.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that we're able to do this and that you made the time for us during your extremely busy schedule. So I wanted to ask you some questions about your professional world, some of your personal world, and just share on how you are a $250 million in the last 16 months producer, which is astronomical in a market that was kind of declining in the country, and you do so well.
Yes, thank you. I don't know how it happens, but it's happening. I guess you're counting.
Yes,
you're counting.
I do. I have a little tally in the house, which is the ongoing number that just changes every time you close a deal. So how did this happen?
Well, I've been with Berkshire Hathaway for 25 years. I started in 2001.
When you were 13.
Right. And slowly made my way, started as an assistant, learned from incredible people who took me under their wing, took me door knocking, took me to listing appointments, not afraid to show me the ropes and to learn, which I think is always, I think the exception to the norm, right? Most agents don't bring their staff and their assistants to these real life experiences where you actually grow and learn. So I was very, very lucky to have that. And then after several years, decided that it was time to do things on my own. And I think my trajectory has been just only up since I've focused and kind of grounded myself on the things that work for me in my business and getting coaching and all of the steps in between.
So hands-on training versus research and books and...
Not necessarily. I think hands-on training in the beginning was really helpful for me, right? Real-life learning experiences, rejection, door knocking, getting that door slammed in your face, second-guessing yourself with what comes next, outreach, presentation, all of that. And then I think in between all of these years is just soaking up of information. I listen to podcasts. I listen to YouTube videos. I listen to books on tape. I read as much as I can. I go to seminars. I go to, I try to do everything and soak it all in because every little nugget helps.
Yeah. I mean, your business is just, like I said, it's something special. What challenges in the beginning did you face?
I think in the beginning was, where do I start? When you don't have money and you need to spend on signs and marketing pieces and mailers and farming and all that stuff, you never know.
So invest.
Right. Where do you start? And I think back then, I just started with my friends, my sphere of influence, as they call it, right? And I think that the emails that we had in early 2000s is certainly not what we have now. So I would think that ideally and originally it was just reaching out to the people that I knew, that I trusted, asking them to give me a chance to help them sell their real estate.
And it just snowballed into your book of business and the referral base and
yes.
And just skyrocketed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What is your secret sauce besides your personality and your wonderful looks? What else?
I think my secret sauce is that I have many. I think that I'm a connector, first and foremost. I think that I'm a problem solver, and I try to anticipate my clients' needs so they don't have to ask me.
So a few steps ahead.
A few steps ahead. I definitely am proactive in terms of, if you have to ask me to do something, I will get it done. You don't need to ask me twice. And in general, I'm competitive, and I like to win.
You like to win.
I do.
And your team, because you definitely have some support. Talk
Yes.
about what your team looks like.
So I'm an individual agent in my company of 45,000. So we're a huge global brand. And our company is spread between individuals, small teams, medium teams, and large teams. And then our awards kind of shift between like GCI, and that's gross commission income earned. And then there's other awards that separate for units sold, because we have a lot of agents in our company that do big developments where they sell 100 properties at a time. So obviously I don't do that. But in the beginning, and I've always been an individual agent, and I'm not leaning towards a team at the moment, but I understand that is maybe the way of the future. I was alone for many years, and then I would say in about 2015 or 16, I started with a part-time assistant, where I'm a control freak and have a hard time thinking that anyone can do what I can do, and needing to delegate was what I needed to work on. So I had that person at the time who's still in my life in many ways, and we just actually closed a deal together.
Oh, nice.
She's great. And for right now, I have a director of operations, a full-time marketing coordinator who does everything, a transaction coordinator, and then we have all of the support of our legal and everything on the back end with our company.
And your marketing helps with all your social media?
Everything.
Amazing.
Everything.
Amazing, amazing. So let's talk about the market. So you're based out of?
I'm based out of the Brentwood office for Berkshire Hathaway. I live 10 minutes away. And I would say for my market share, it's generally Westside. So Westwood, Century City, Cheviot Hills, Brentwood, Santa Monica. And then I dabble on the east side, Beverly Grove, Beverly Hills, Bel Air. I don't do too much in the south, and I have referral partners in the valley.
And what is the sweet spot, do you think, right now in LA?
Well, it depends on the price range. Right. That's hard. I would say my average price range is about $4 million. $3 to $5 million is generally where I am. Although it's funny, because last year with the fires, my price point was different, because I helped so many people with so many different needs. It was like 700,000 and 25 million. Right. It was like, didn't make any sense.
A wide range.
Right. That this past year was unusual. But generally my median price point is between 3 and 5. So in terms of sweet spots of the market, I think that there are certain areas of like Westside Village and some areas by the freeway. Mar Vista is definitely having a moment right now. Obviously, we know the growth of Westchester that's happening further south.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah. There are certain areas in Mid-City that I really like, that with all the new cafes and restaurants, if you can be a little bit further east, I think there's a lot of value there. And, there are people going back into the Palisades, and people going up to the Highlands and taking that chance on getting in early over there where the prices have dipped before kind of the development starts.
And it's an aggressive market, I hear. I mean, they're kind of fighting now to get back into the Palisades, the Highlands.
Yes,
prices
definitely.
Are not going down like we think
right.
anticipated.
Yeah, a lot of people are still holding on.
Yeah. And what predictions do you think you have for 26?
I mean, today has been just a crazy day just even getting here. I don't know what's happening today. But in general, I think for 2026, everyone is projecting this to be a great year. I think with last year, especially the way we started off with the fires, it was a very uncertain year, reminiscent to a little bit of COVID, but just where does the real estate market stand and how do we come back from this? Because it was just beyond comprehension. But it feels that for 2026, there is hope, rates that are favorable.
Thank you.
We still do have, lack of inventory, but a lot of different profiles, throughout in terms of buyers and sellers right now.
So we're sitting here today. This is the real open house. Tell me about a crazy open house experience that you've had.
Crazy open house experience. Well, I'm not prepared for this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this could be somebody who walks in and goes, you know what, I'm just going to buy. And you do a lot of cash buyers.
Yes.
I think majority of your clients might even be pure cash buyers, correct?
Yeah, some of them also get, loans after, but yeah, there's a lot of money out there. I think that for crazy open houses, we've had situations where we've seen things in terms of personal items left that are likely not publicly displayed. Products and photos and imagery that we've politely put away for people, especially when a tenant is involved in a property because they don't really care. It's not their house they're selling. So some tenants kind of mess with agents a little bit. We've had that. We've had floating rats in pools. That's always fun. We've had floods where we've come into open houses, from rain the night before that we were prepared for.
We've had skunk smells.
We've had skunk smells.
That was one of our last transactions together.
That was a fun one.
Yeah,
I feel a little lucky that I haven't had too many terrible stories. I think generally most of our clients enjoy open houses, but many of them don't. So I wouldn't say it's the biggest part of my business for me.
And lending, which is
Yes.
my forte.
Of course.
You definitely pass my name out all the time, which I appreciate. What do you look for in a lender? I mean, what are some of the characteristics you like using me, for example? I know some people call me the Ray Donovan of lending because I fix it, I close it, and do it pretty quickly. What are some of the characteristics you look for in a lender?
I think that when we have such an important role in a buyer's process through this, that they listen to what we say. So if I were to tell my client, you need to call Josh, he is the best.
Thank you.
They believe it. So it's not only clear communication, which is number one for both of us, it's response time, and it's really hand-holding. A lot of the buyers that we work with are first-time buyers, and they don't understand the process. They don't understand the ins and the outs, and they need to be, their hand needs to be held, which is something I think that you're really good at. I think that setting our clients up for success, especially if there's a multiple, is also key. It's something that we have to do, right? So when we're processing a multiple offer where we represent the buyer, not only CCing the listing agent with you on the email shows transparency and allows you to dip in and introduce yourself, and these buyers are qualified, they're ready to close, we got them. Number one, that's one thing that's great. Also, you pre-qualifying in terms of closing and doing due diligence in advance so that we're kind of down the finish line.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some fun stuff.
Okay.
So I think your love language is travel.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Travel and hang out with your friends, which you have a wonderful group of girls that I always see posting, and you guys have your what is it, the banditas?
The banditas.
The banditas.
Yeah.
So your love language, I think, is travel. What is your favorite destination? I know you go all over. I mean, from Fiji to Europe to, I think, even Egypt at once recently. I mean,
Yes.
you go all over.
Yes.
What is your favorite destination?
Generally, I like a beach once in a while, but I really do prefer cultural soaking up and cultural and just exploration and food and an old city. How about that? So generally, I love history. I just love learning. We did just recently go to Egypt, to Cairo, and a cruise down the Nile. We've been to Morocco. We've been to Bora Bora. We did South Africa. We've done a lot. We've done a lot.
I've been to Morocco and
Yes.
South Africa. And
Yes.
It's definitely an exciting long journey to get there. I love South Africa. I thought that was, I don't know if I'd go back, but I thought.
There's so many places in Africa I want to go.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to go back, but my list is long.
Yeah. South
Yeah.
Africa was one of the places that I felt was just a little scary.
Yeah.
It was the police and the whole thing was just so weird that I was happy to come back, even though it was amazing. And I did the whole Jaybird and went to, the whole safari, but it was just a little scary there. But
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
I think for me, with travel internationally and domestically, one of the things that I like to do, we have offices everywhere, right? So if we're in Aspen, we're in Jackson Hole, we're in Washington, Connecticut, we're in Maine, we're in Kennebunkport, wherever. We have offices everywhere. I was just in I think it's called Edina, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and we had an office there. So I'll go in anywhere that we have an office and introduce myself, get the manager's information. Chicago, you know, I went into the office on Michigan Ave in Chicago, met the manager, and have been dear friends with him ever since.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. How do you balance it? Because, I mean, produce a lot, you're a mom, kids, 2 teens. This is a big task, and produce. How do you balance your work, life, travel?
It's funny. My husband says, you know, you can't cage a wild animal. This is what works for me. If this didn't work for me, then I wouldn't do it. But the amount that I traveled last year and the amount of business that I did just speaks to that I do have it figured out. It's not that I'm not working on these trips. I am working more than I probably should. I'm up all night. I'm very aware. I'm very present. And I remember I was on a girls' trip to Paris, and I was negotiating a pretty complicated deal. And I had the seller on one side, and they were also buying. And it was, you know, $7 million departure residence and a $15 million replacement residence. And I remember the wife said to me that her husband was uncomfortable that I was doing this from Paris. And I said, it doesn't matter where I am. Having this phone call with you and then making my next phone call to the buyer's agent, it doesn't matter.
You could be sitting in a cafe in LA, right?
Exactly. Like, you hired me for my skills, for what I do, and let me just do it.
Yeah.
You know, and there are a lot of agents out there that that hide when they travel from their clients, by the way. They block them on Instagram. They post 2 weeks later. They are not truthful. And that doesn't serve anybody.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of clients respect me for how I live and what I do.
So you bring your laptop.
Of course. All the time. I mean, come on.
I know. You never know. I mean, sometimes you need to turn it off and...
No, I mean, of course I turn it off, but my clients are my priority, and it doesn't matter. I remember being in Israel at the Western Wall, dealing with a geologist, a structural engineer, and my physical inspector of a hillside property on Willow Glen off of Laurel Canyon. I remember that deal. Of course I do, because of where I was and in the moment that I took away from this important trip.
Was this the woman's trip that you went on?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I took away from this important trip for my important client. And they needed me to be on a conference call to discuss like a situation. So of course I'm dealing with everything. That's the privilege of my business and the privilege of traveling.
Amazing. So, I mean, you answered my next 2 questions. Laptop and tell me a good story of closing a deal on a trip.
Oh.
I know. That's amazing. I'm going to Israel in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay, great.
God willing.
Yes.
God willing. All right. So I'm going to shoot some questions at you.
Okay.
Favorite LA restaurant?
I
know it's hard because you're a foodie.
Yeah. Favorite LA restaurant? I think that lately we're kind of going old school back to Izakaya on 3rd after they had the fire. I don't know why. We like it. It's easy. I really like Violet Bistro in Westwood Village. I know that's strange, but I love the energy and the French nature of it, and I think it's so chicly, just designed. And we're actually trying a new restaurant next week on Sawtelle called the Mulberry. That's a Korean new restaurant that looks amazing.
I love it.
So I'll tell you about it.
I love it. Would you prefer Bravo or Netflix?
Netflix.
Are you a Bravo girl?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
Nothing.
I'm
Nothing
done with
Bravo.
that.
You're
I'm
done,
done with that.
done with Bravo.
I'm done with Bravo.
Dream celebrity client that you would love to work with? It's kind of a cheesy question, but if you could pick one.
Yeah, I've worked with so many that I can't talk about.
Right.
But maybe like someone in fashion. that would be like more aesthetic, not
Mm-hmm.
like a celebrity that's a movie star, because I've done that. Maybe someone like on a different
Creative,
aspect.
on a
Yeah.
creative way.
Yeah. Something like that, like a designer, like a very forward designer, like the new, like, or even the clothing designer for Margot Robbie right now for Wuthering Heights.
I love it.
Yeah.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Beach.
Yeah.
And if you could go back in your early stage of becoming a real estate agent and the beast that you are, what would you tell yourself that you know now that you didn't know then?
To hire a coach sooner.
Interesting. Tell me more.
Yeah.
What do you think the coach brings to the table?
When I started my career, I was doing very well. I was selling around $10 million a year, contributing to the family pot, working and definitely earning money. But I wasn't working very hard. I was, box and burn, little soul cycle, going home and showering, kind of getting to the office at 11, then having lunch with a friend, then, got to pick up my kids at 3 o'clock, and like just fitting work in. And that wasn't really work, but I was doing okay. And I hired a coach, Internal Groove, Barb Garrison, through some other friends and clients of mine who worked more in like the luxury lifestyle space. So she's not a real estate coach.
Interesting.
And that is something that I appreciated, because I had interviewed a couple of the other real estate coaches and it just didn't resonate with me where the time I was in my life. With being a mom, having kids, traveling, doing all the things I wanted to do. And I needed to clean up my side of the street. And I knew that, and I wanted to do it, but I didn't really know how. And setting boundaries and getting support and all the things we've discussed. So after I hired that coach, I tripled my business the next year. And
Interesting. So not real estate, just different perspective of business and time management from another industry completely.
yeah, so her expertise is obviously people, but the people that I had known that had worked with her, for example, had gone from the luxury magazine space to the travel industry, who had been at a small talent agency and was the big fish, but then they were acquired by WME. Now he was going to be a small fish. So how to stand out in your industry, no matter who you are, in a luxury lifestyle clientele, if you will. And I think that translates to many fields. So
Are you still active? Are you still coach?
yeah, I talk with her all the time. I started coaching with her. So we bought our house in 2018, probably 2015, 16, because my goals were personal and I wanted to buy a bigger house and my husband did not. That's the truth.
And that's the truth.
And I said, well, then
This
I'm
is
going to
where
make
you
the
got
money,
it, right.
and we'll buy the bigger
Get
house.
the house. And you got the bigger house.
Yeah.
So how often do you talk to her once a week? Is it a set time?
So there's different programs that she offers. At first I was like, I'm just going to do this for 6 months. Like, I don't need this. And then we were like at the, 50-yard line. Like I needed to keep going. So we had so much work to do. But she has different programs for all different kinds of people. And she has like these career breakthrough sessions that are 90 minutes. And she has these spot
like
sessions.
one-on-one or
Oh, yeah,
group
no.
or?
Absolutely one-on-one. Yeah. For me, I know that a lot of agents out there coach with groups and then they do one-on-one, and maybe that would have been helpful at the time, but it wasn't specific to my needs, which were setting boundaries, prioritizing work, figuring out how I needed to get out of my own way and what my goals were. And honestly, Josh, like really working on what an ideal client is to me and not taking on clients that were not ideal. That didn't value me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
An ideal. Well, I had a huge thing in my office for many years that I would do a mental checklist of who I spoke
Like a
to on the phone,
whiteboard?
a buyer or a seller,
Like
a
a
whiteboard. Do they value me? Do they respect me? Are they going to, cooperate in my full compensation? Are they ready? Are they actually buyers or sellers, or are they just going to waste my time? Do they communicate the way that I like to be communicated with and available? A lot of people, put this onto a business manager. I have no problem with that. I like business managers. That's easy. But a little bit of like, caginess or not being responsive, that doesn't really work.
Do you
for me.
scream out pass? sometimes? I mean, do you?
Yes, I do scream out pass. I actually did it this weekend. It felt really good. I said,
Just said,
not
sorry,
for me.
Not for you.
I said, I wish you the best of luck, and I think you'll find another agent who will work with you. But
Wow.
it's not me.
But
But
great.
I'm in a position where I can do that, and I wasn't before, and a lot of agents are not. You know, you go everywhere in the city. You're driving, you're eating lunch in your car, you're not eating. You have to go wherever the leads are, and I get that, and I did that, but I don't want to do that anymore.
And I mean, you still sit at open houses. You
Yes.
still do, because I know I've gone with you, which
Yes.
it's been a lot of fun.
Yes.
And some agents are like, oh, it's a waste of time. I disagree, because I think you can get unrepresented buyers and sellers walking in all the time.
We just had one.
So tell me.
We had an open house in Cheviot where a couple came in. The house did not work for them, but they liked me, and they said, "Are you taking on new buyers?" And I said, "Sure. Let's sit down and have a Zoom." So we had a Zoom with the family, the couple, and the parents, and I told them who I am, what I stand for, how I operate. They told me what they were looking for. I said I could find it. I told them that I only work with buyers that sign a buyer broker agreement, that this is what the fee is, but usually the seller pays for it. They'd never bought before they were renting. I had to just spell it all out. And I ended the Zoom. I was like, I nailed that. And an hour later, they're like, send us the BRBC,
Wow.
the buyer broker. So we signed it. They were a $7.5 million buyer.
There you go.
And,
the myth is a myth.
I know. And I showed them 2 houses, both off market. That was it. Cash buyers.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. That's unusual, though.
But that happens.
It does happen. And if you're not at the open house, you can't,
Right.
you know,
I mean, you're taking
publicize
time away
yourself.
from your family to do open houses. I know you have teens, and I have teens.
Yeah.
So I very rarely see them anyways. They're always with their friends doing something. But sitting in an open house on the weekend is time away from your family. But on the other hand, that's where you get unrepresented buyers.
I mean, our business, as you know, same with yours, is, you know, at times cyclical, at times not, and 24/7. So you have to take the wins, you have to move on from the losses, and you have to take the time when you have a slow morning to go for that run, to do that class, to, you know, just lay in bed, whatever it is. You have to just take that time, because, I mean, you don't know what the day's going to be like. Working on the weekends for me, I did try for a while to like not work on Saturdays. That was like a thing I wanted to try, and to be with my kids when they were younger. And I did do it for a while, but it just doesn't always work out.
Yeah. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do another open house. How is the buyer comp change, paying agents? How's that affected your business? I know we've had one recently where the seller was refusing to pay the buyer's agent on that one transaction, and it was
Yeah.
awkward because the seller's usually paying it. But has this affected or has
No.
it changed your?
I love the buyer broker agreement.
'Cause it
I
locks
think it's a
them in with
gift.
you.
I think it's a gift. And the fact that we, over all these years, wasted so much time running around for buyers with no agreement in sight, and then they go use their Aunt Sally to be educated by you, and then to go to someone else and to have no loyalty or leg to stand on. Like, I love a buyer broker agreement, and I will only work with the buyer if they sign it. And if they don't want to sign it, that's great. Go work with someone else. But if someone comes up to me and says, oh, well, we'll only work with you on pockets, I'm like, no. Why would I send my pocket to you when I will send it to my buyer who I'm working with, who's loyal to me?
That's committed, right?
Committed, exactly. So I think that's going to take time for buyers to pick up on. And maybe there are agents who don't have as much business who are willing to just work with buyers on pockets, and that's great. But that's not the way.
Or they also doesn't have the confidence.
Correct.
I think, the way you probably deliver it is
Yeah.
and when you have that expectation call that you were just sharing, you lay down the law. And I do very similar. You've seen me. I'll call the
Yes.
agent and I say, what expectations do you have for me?
Yeah.
This is my timeline.
Correct.
This is how fast I'm going to do it. This is my steps. Do you want me to text you? Do you want me to email you? Do you want milestones? What milestones do you want to hear from me? And I think it's super effective. What sets me apart from other lenders is that communication aspect. How are those conversations when you're laying down, this is what I do, this is how I do it? How are they receptive with that?
I think that's a great question. So for buyers, I have a buyer need intake sheet. So and
Self-made, you made this.
self-made, yeah. So I have that sheet which has all the nitty-gritty of the questions that they want. Normally, they've been referred to me by somebody, and we just go over the process of what they're looking for. Look, we're in the client expectation management business.
That's it.
That is
And
really what
therapy.
we are,
You're
and
a
therapy.
licensed therapist.
Yes, of course. But we need to make people feel like they're in charge, because they are in charge, of course,
They're the
but
boss.
also guided, and that we're on their side. So, and that's a totally different nuance when it comes to like dual agency, which is a whole other thing. But I think like I got a call on the way to the podcast today from a seller who is looking to change agents. I don't know who he is, and he mentioned someone's name of someone that referred me, but I couldn't even catch who it was, and it did not sound familiar. So that's okay. And I basically had to say, wait, who are you? What house is this? Wait, isn't that on the market right now? And I had to understand, like, is this an ideal client seller for me? Because it's on the market with someone who I know of, but they moved to Orange County. So that's not serving these sellers anymore because they're not conveniently located to do showings. It takes an hour and a half to get each way, that kind of
Right.
thing.
And your reputation, you're not up. You're
Right.
not
So they're
ambulance
making a
chaser.
change. And
Right.
so, and I was talking about this the other night. We have this. So after the fires, we started this incredible group. We call ourselves the Lady Gang Realtors. It's Eastside, Westside, female agents from all over.
Gangsters.
Yes, gang. And so we are like a brain trust, and I have probably 4 of these that are my chat groups are crazy. But we share vendors, we share, pockets, we share needs, we share funny stories and sad stories. And one of the agents, we had dinner on Thursday night, was talking about how condos in her area where she lives are extremely challenging. They're slow to sell. The stagers don't want to stage them because they sit for longer than 90 days. They lose their inventory. And where she lives on the east side, it's just a struggle. And she's working with a different coach. And that coach is like, we need to make working with condos work for you. So if you're going to take a condo listing, what does that mean to you? Because at first she was always doing them at 2.5%. Well, now she's only taking the condo listing at 4%. That's it.
That's it.
That's what makes it work for her.
And condos in my world, if you call me and say it's a condo, it's a cringe. I mean, just
Right.
today, right before this interview, I went through a couple big banks.
Yep.
They referred it to me.
Yep.
One of them, when the bank reviews a condo project,
Yep.
and they
Balconies.
find something, they have to report it to agency. Agency then posts on their website, do not lend. And I took the extra time, dug into it, and turns out they didn't do their due diligence. And today I have officially reversed one of these projects. And now I'm 40, my process, as you know, I close within 15 days, usually 20 days max. I'm on day maybe 45, just working with the HOAs.
Right.
And the challenges we have these days
So
is
hard.
pooled insurance, litigation, one person suing something that has nothing to
Yeah.
do with us.
It's a problem. Reserves.
The Surfside condo and project,
Balconies.
it really changed, I think, the condo landscape nationwide from Surfside in Florida. So it's interesting to hear that, the agents now are recognizing that this is a challenge and probably extending escrow periods.
Well, it's
knowing-
also not just a challenge from agents, but even hearing from stagers. Ugh, I don't want to stage
I mean,
a condo.
that's a sign.
I'm
of,
like, what? I've never heard that before. They're like, those condos, this particular place on the west side, those condos take 6 months to sell. I can't afford to lose my inventory for 6 months.
wow,
Yeah, I was surprised.
that's a gnarly
I know.
sign that it's not just lending that has a challenge after challenge getting these projects approved. I mean, but to get a project go from the dark side to approved, I
That's a
remember
huge
the Marina
undertaking.
City Club was on Do Not Lend Forever.
Right.
And I remember working on that, and it ended up being a litigation of their rec room. They had a engagement party, and the people sued the HOA because of the rec room or something stupid. The whole building was on Do Not Lend for years, and I dug deep and realized it had nothing to do with our subject property or anything. It's just crazy. Little stupid things on these condos.
I know.
And the market has changed. Well, how can the listeners and our followers find you? Like, tell me about your social media, because I know you do a lot of great content.
Yeah, my social media is just my name, Lauren Ravitz Homes. That's it.
And
Very easy. My website, Lauren Ravitz. Just
easy,
me.
Easy for sheezy.
Yeah.
And do you enjoy doing the Instagram? And do you think that has helped your business grow?
It has. I had a client reach out to me this year from Instagram. She actually works at Instagram.
Oh.
And she found me, and she ended up actually finding the builder as well on Instagram. And we are in escrow for $4,750
Wow.
off market from Instagram.
Amazing. And I saw like the transformation of like, you know, when you started on Instagram to today, the production quality has definitely improved significantly.
It's just an iPhone, but thank you.
But no, I mean, it looks legit, and it's
Look, I'm, 40-something-year-old woman. I'm not famous. I do not want to be famous. I'm not a model. I am just me providing like authentic content to my audience of things that I learn, things that I think are valuable, and things that resonate with me. My kids, I'm sure, are so embarrassed by whatever I post, but that's just who I am. And I think that who I am comes off in my content, that I am a knowledge broker. I'm a good person. I put my clients' needs first. I'm a hard worker. I do all the things. So if you want to work with someone like me, that's who I am.
And you wear your heart on your sleeve.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we always want the best for everyone, and we want to crush.
You play tennis.
Yeah, I play tennis. Yeah,
You play pickleball. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I know. We need to do our thing.
We need to do our thing.
This is serious.
I know.
Okay.
I play pickleball, so
Yes.
we need to bring the offices together and do it.
Yes, we do.
Any badass crazy listings coming up?
Badass crazy listings. I have a few things in the works. I mean, today was crazy. I have a beautiful new build that I got signed today for 4.8. Will be completed in Westwood, new construction by this unbelievable developer and designer that is a modern, warm, mixed 4,400 square foot house. I have the meeting on Wednesday night with the takeover listing. I have another listing I'm taking over in Westwood. That'll be $2.5 million. I have another listing launching soon, but by the time this airs, who knows what's coming on? That's just in the moment
day
today.
by day, by day. Well, I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to come meet with the Real Open House host,
Yes,
Mr.
real.
Josh. And I'm excited to see you continue to do your success and grow and be the wonderful person that you are. And I'm so happy that you were able to make it today. And going forward, we will have some more sessions coming up with a couple other agents, some real interesting agents that do crazy hobbies and have whole side lives outside of real estate. And they will be dropping soon. So Lauren Ravitz,
Thank you.
I appreciate your time, and thank you for tuning in and listening to us.